realized for the first time in my life the importance of being earnest. The fact that they did not follow us into the house seems to show that they have some sense of shame left.
They've been eating muffins. It looks like repentance. They're approaching!
Kindly answer me. Why did you pretend to be my guardian's brother?
So I may meet you.
That seems a satisfactory answer, if you can believe it.
I don't. But that does not affect the wonderful beauty of his answer.
True. Style, not sincerity, is everything. Mr. Worthy, what explanation can you offer for pretending to have a brother? Was it so that you could come up to town and meet me? You doubt it, Miss Fairfax?
I am more than content with how they answered. Their voices alone inspire so much because of their credulity. However,
Your Christian names?
Are still in Super Barrier.
Darling! Gwendolyn, what does this mean?
Merely that I'm engaged.
Apprised, sir, of my daughter's sudden flight.
By her trusty maid, whose confidence I purchased by means of a small coin, I followed her at once by carriage. Her unhappy father is, I am glad to say, under the impression that she is intending more than the usual lengthy lecture.
I do not propose to undeceive him. All communication between yourself and my daughter must cease immediately.
I am married.
You are nothing! Algernon, may I ask if it is in this house that your invalid friend Mr. Bunbury resides?
No, he's dead. Oh. Well, I killed Bunbury this afternoon.
Hey, Bunbury!
I mean, poor Bunbury died this afternoon. He was exploding. Bombarded.
Well, now that we have finally got rid of this Mr. Bunbury, may I ask?
That lady is Miss Cecily Cardew, granddaughter of the late Thomas Cardew. Of Street, Wallaby Way, in the Southwest Pacific of the Hotel Tipton, Gervais Park, Dorrington, Surrey, and a 5-star NB.
That sounds not unsatisfactory.
I also have in my possession certificates of Miss Cardew's birth, baptism, whooping cough, registration, vaccination, confirmation, and the measles. Both the German and the English variety.
A life crowded with incident, but perhaps too exciting for a young girl. Gwendolyn, we must depart. As a matter of form, I must ask you if Miss Cardew has any little fortune.
Oh, about 130 pounds in the fund. Goodbye.
Miss Cardew seems to me a most attractive young lady. Kindly turn around, sweet child.
Cecily is the sweetest, prettiest, perfectest girl in the world.
Well, I suppose I must give my consent.
Augusta.
I beg your pardon for interrupting, but this engagement is quite out of the question. I am Miss Cecily's guardian, and she can only marry on my consent. That consent I wish not to give.
Upon what grounds, may I ask?
It pains me to speak frankly to you about your nephew, but I distrust his moral character. I suspect him of being untruthful. This afternoon, during my absence in London, he obtained admission to my house by means of treachery and the false pretense of being my brother. Under an assumed name, he drank an entire pint bottle of Marvin Gaye and Chardonnay. He subsequently succeeded in the course of the afternoon in alienating the affections of my only ward.
Hey, baby.
And what makes his conduct the more heartless is that he even knew I had no brother.
I would beg of you to reconsider your decision.
The The moment you consent to my marriage with Gwendolyn, I will allow your alliance with Cecily.
That is out of the question.
Then a passionate celibacy is all that we can be looking forward to.
Everything is quite ready for the christenings.
The christening, sir, is not that somewhat premature?
Both these gentlemen have expressed immediate desire for baptisms.
Did I hear you mention a Miss Prism? This matter may prove to be of vital importance to Lord Bracknell and myself.
I was told you expected me in the vestry, dear Canon. I waited for you there an hour and 3/4.
28 years ago, Prism, you left Lord Bracknell's house, number 104, Upper Grosvenor Street, in charge of a perambulator that contained a baby, of the male sex. You never returned. A few weeks later, through the elaborate investigations of the Metropolitan Police, the perambulator was discovered at the midnight, standing by itself in a remote corner of Bayswater.
It contained the manuscript of a 3-volume novel of unusually revolting sentimentality. But the baby was not there. Prism, where's the baby?
I only wish I knew. The plain facts of the case are these.
On the morning of the day you mentioned, I prepared as usual to take the baby out in its perambulator. In a moment of mental abstraction, for which I can never forgive myself, I deposited the manuscript in the bassinet and placed the baby in the handbag.
This is a matter of no small importance to me. Where did you put the handbag?
I left it in the cloakroom in the Victoria Railway Station.
Uncle Jack seems strangely happy.
Your guardian seems to have a very unpleasant nature.
This noise is very unpleasant.
It's stopped now.
This suspense is terrible. Is this your handbag? The happiness of more than one depends on your answer.
It seems to be mine. Yes, here's the injury received through the upsetting of a Gower Street ominous in younger and happier days. Oh, and here's the stain caused by the explosion of a temperance beverage. Oh, and here, on the lock, are my initials. This bag is undoubtedly mine.
What is the baby you placed in the bag?
You?
Yes, mother!
I am unmarried. There is the lady who can tell you who you really are.
You are the son of my poor sister, Miss Locktree, and consequently, Algernon's elder brother.
Elder brother? I have a brother? I had a brother. I knew I had a brother. Algie, you young scoundrel, you have to treat me better. You have never behaved to me like a brother.
Well, not till today, old boy. Because now I know you're my brother, and we'll be besties.
My own. But what own are you? What is your Christian name now that you've become someone else? Good heavens! I had quite forgotten that point. I suppose that your decision on the fact of my name has not been forgotten. I never change, except in my affections.
What noble nature you have, Gwendolyn.
Then the question had better be cleared up at once. Aunt Augusta, at the time of my handbag experience, had I been christened yet?
Being the eldest son, you were naturally christened after your father. I cannot at the present moment recall what the general Christian's name was, but I have no doubt he had one.
Algie, can't you remember our father's Christian name?
My dear boy, me and him were not even on speaking terms. He died when I was only 1. But his name would be on the army list of the period, though. See you.
The army lists of the last 40 years are here. M. Generals, Malum, Maxby, Magley, Marksby, Migsby, Mobbs, Moncrief. Lieutenant, 1840. Captain, Lieutenant, Colonel. Colonel, General, 1869. Christian names, Earnest. I always told you, Gwendolyn, my name was Earnest, didn't I?
Laetitia!
Ernest, my own Ernest.
Oh, Howie.
It must be a terrible thing for a man to be living his whole entire life, knowing that he's been telling nothing but the truth.